We're recording. Hi, this is Laura, and today we're making gourmet Clothespin Dragons. Do you like the Bon Appetit reference? Here is our guy we're making. Isn't he cute? I thought we should do something fun and tiny and cute today because we need some cute in our lives. So, you are going to have a little cup. The cup will be about yay big. It will be filled with paint. I did not give myself a cup because why would I prep for this? I should, but why would I? So I'm going to fill my cup up now. Okay. You have a clothespin. You can either take your clothespin apart or leave it whole. It doesn't matter. I'm taking mine apart. I might not be able to put this back together. I don't know. We're gonna find out together. Because this is one of those things that you do in stages. Because you cannot make this and then immediately assemble it. It needs some time to dry. So we're gonna have more than one take or more than one segment to this video, which means I'm gonna have to figure out how to edit. So we're gonna paint our pieces of wood here. It does not have to be perfect. It does not have to be completely saturated if you don't feel like it. But if you do, you can do a couple coats. It's up to you. I might do a couple coats here because I'm doing an example for you and I want it to look nice. Now I've reached a point where I always get to, at which point I look at it and I say, I can't put this down and I can't finish painting it because it's still wet. So, we're gonna be here for a while. Let's see if I can balance it somehow. We do our best. Sometimes our best is sad, but that's just part of craft. Okay, I'm gonna try balancing it on this and we're just gonna hope it doesn't screw up too bad while we work on our other bit. Maybe I'll be smart and just paint one side of this one the whole way. It's just worth mentioning that I'm gonna have to figure out how this goes back together because I don't know that I paid attention to that. This is what's fun about crafts. You don't have to go in knowing what you're doing at all. You don't have to worry about screwing it up because you just try again. Just do your best, or if you're me, do what little you have energy for in this morning and see what happens. And hopefully you end up with a result you like, and if not, you try again. Okay, see, I painted one side of that guy, and I'll let him dry. If you want to speed up the drying time on your project, get out your hairdryer if you have one at home, and using the hairdryer, turn on the dryer, I don't know, and it will dry your paint much faster. In fact, if you dry your paint like that, you can probably do this in one sitting instead of taking a break like I'm going to, because once the paint's set, you can just jump right in and do the rest. Okay. Cut, I guess. Cut. And we're back. As you can see, we have a fully painted green clothespin. It was not that hard to put back together, so take it apart, put it back together. Just know that when you do, there's a little divot. That is where the coil goes. So you don't want this part up here, you want this part in the back, and the two pieces will be facing forward. So here we go. Something not included in your kit is glue. You can use hot glue, Hot glue will be fast. You can use tacky glue. Tacky glue will be slow. But I don't really want to turn on a hot glue gun today, so I'm going to use this because I have all the time in the world to wait for this to set. You have little pieces of paper. You should have a tiny little yellow piece and a bigger red piece. This is fire, not real fire. It won't burn you, but it is pretend fire. So when I'm using tacky glue, I like to make sure that I am using a very little amount of it, not a ton. And there's no wrong way to put your fire together. You can put it on backwards and it will look like a tongue of flame doing weird things. You can put it forwards like this and it will look uniform. It is up to you. It does not matter. But what I will tell you to do that will help you is either put a little of wet glue on another surface and use like your fingertip or something to dip in, or put a very little amount. See if I can actually get this to come out. Maybe. There it comes. Tiny, tiny baby amount on. You do not need much on there. It's focusing. Let's try and do a YouTuber thing. Just a little. Yes, I watch YouTube videos. Everybody does. Okay. Now you got your fire put together. You want to start with the wings. They're going to go way back, like that, except centered. Ta-da! And for that, you're going to want to put some tacky glue on this, or some hot glue. Again, either one will work. Super glue will work, but don't glue yourself to a Q-tip. One time, or to a Q-tip, it's not a Q-tip, don't glue yourself to a clothespin. One time I glued myself to my dog because I was trying to help her. She had broke a claw. Don't super glue yourself to dogs. They don't like it, and honestly, neither did I. Okay. I didn't need to put it on both sides, I think. Just put it on one side. I thought maybe it would pinch close enough that it would help to have it on both sides. It doesn't. So just put it on one side of that paper. And here he is. Okay. For his mouth, there's a little tab on your fire. Stick some glue on the tab. Maybe. Gosh, it might have been faster for me to heat up the hot glue gun. But again, why plan ahead for crafting? Don't do it. So he has fire. You can adjust this to be exactly where you want it. Fire. This is his tail. Now the tutorial that I found had you fold it in half a little bit. So I'm going to do that. They also had it jagged on the edges, and I didn't do that because I was cutting out so many of these. So if you want to make the edges look like a crocodile tail, like spiky, you can do that, but I didn't. This I'm just putting at the bottom of the clothespin. I keep wanting to call it a Q-tip. I promise I know the difference between these things. I promise. And then just slide that guy in there and hold him. I'm going to try and center that a little. Okay. And you can trim that up if you want to. Or, you know, have it be straight if you want to. Mine is not straight. Why would it be? Oh my goodness. Who lets me do crafts? Honestly, who does? They always turn out. It just is it's an interesting ride while I do them. waiting for glue to dry. It's fun. Okay, basically, here he is. I might trim that up once it's dry so that it looks a little bit more in line with how narrow this piece is. Or I might leave it. It's up to you. Okay. 2 more things. Eyeballs. 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 Okay. For this, you're going to want to glue them right around here, like set them further back, but they won't be centered. Like, they're going to be side by side, but part of them is going to be hanging off the edge. So this needs to be like the last thing you do. So before we do that, I'm going to find a Sharpie. Just a second. I was right. I knew where one was. Sharpie. You can use any permanent marker for this. You can use a regular marker for this, but I think a permanent one will probably work a little bit easier if you've got one at home. If not, use a black marker. Use a black pen. That works too. You're going to draw little nostrils. Little nose holes there. Those are just 2 little circles or 2 little long lines if you want. And it might actually be easier not to use a fine tip Sharpie like I'm using, because you can just tap it down then. So there we go. We got some nose holes. Isn't that nice? You can use this to put detail on the wings. You can use, and that's not the lid. I swear I had coffee this morning. Promise. Did not help. Okay, that's how you put a lid on a Sharpie. Thank you. Okay, here he is with his nostrils. And now I'm going to put the glue directly on my dragon's head, not on the eyes. But yes, you can use your Sharpie to give his wings detail. You can use your Sharpie to give his tail detail. You're welcome. The bottom line is you can make him look like anything you want. So I have a blob of glue. Can't remember where my camera lens is. That's always a good sign on a Monday. It is a Monday for me. It's a Thursday for you. Okay. There are his eyeballs. Now that's going to need to dry for a while. Like walk away kind of a while. And then once it is dry, you can trim up the tail, anything that makes you happy. And there's your Clothespin Dragon. And if you want to, you can add a magnet to the back, have him on your fridge or on some other magnetic thing you have in your house. Or you can stick a little pin back there, like a push pin for a bulletin board, and push pin him onto things. You can put a command strip on the back of him. You might need to cut it in half and have him on your wall to hold pictures. Anything you want. Or you can just do what I'm probably going to do with him and have him bite people. Shouldn't be as fun as it is. Alright, happy crafting everybody. See you next week.